everyone. Welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV. How are we doing? I hope we're having a wonderful time. Yes, it is game week 13. Yes, we're here for it. We're here for game week 13. And thank you for everyone who has been liking, sharing, and subscribing. We're thanking you. We're up to 300 subscribers now. We're moving. Baby steps. We're taking it. We're going. Yeah, so we bring you game week 13. But like we always do, before we do game week 13, let us look at what happened in game week 12. There was a lot of incidents and a lot has happened through the week as well. So let's look at that before looking at game week 13. So, game week 12 started off with Burnley playing Chelsea, and Chelsea winning that one comfortably away from home, 2-0. Well done to everyone who predicted 2-0. If you're listening, well done. And well done to Osita, who was the only one who got the Chelsea win for 2-0. I mean, every other person predicted a win, but well done to Osita. He predicted 2-0, so he gets that point. Yeah. Bournemouth versus West Ham. West Ham started off really good, going 2-0 up. But Bournemouth, I'm sure the back of their head, they were thinking, we cannot lose a third game, and especially not to West Ham, who are, down the table. So they picked themselves up and they were able to get themselves a draw in that game. And well done to King T. King T correctly predicted that the game would finish 2-2. So well done. Brighton versus Brentford. Brentford were winning 1-0, but Brighton dug deep and came back and won the game 2-1. And we have a few people who have predicted that. So well done to Anu. Well done to Temizak. Well done to Kiki. Well done to Chris. Well done to Temitayo. And well done to Michael. They all predicted that Brighton would beat Brentford 2-1. And that was the final score. Okay, the next game is Fulham versus Sunderland. Fulham versus Sunderland. Fulham versus Sunderland. And Fulham were 1-0 winners in that one. So well done to Anu, who predicted 1-0 in that game. And he was the only one who predicted 1-0. So well done to Anu. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. I can tell you confidently that no one predicted the correct score, because everyone thought that Liverpool would at least win this game, get themselves back in the title race, and forget about all that has happened so far in the season. But no. Liverpool lost again. Back-to-back 3-0 losses. 3-0 to Man City and now 3-0 to Nottingham Forest, which is really worrying for everyone who is Liverpool inclined. What is happening to your team, guys? What is happening to your team? They lost that one 3-0, so no one predicted that scoreline. Yeah, we move on. Wolverhampton versus Crystal Palace. Rob Edwards in his first game losing to Crystal Palace 2-0. Yeah. And well done to Finn, well done to David, well done to Kiki, and well done to Temitayo, who predicted that correct score of 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Newcastle versus Manchester City. Well, you know what happened. Newcastle won that game 2-1. And well done to yours truly. I predicted 2-1 to Newcastle and was the only one. Was I? No, me and Dion. Well done to Dion as well. Dion predicted that Newcastle will beat Man City 2-1. So well done to the both of us. Leeds versus Aston Villa. Yours truly again. I'm on form, aren't I? Yes, so Leeds lost to Aston Villa 2-1. But I wasn't the only one this time. And it wasn't just two of us. There was loads of us. So well done to King T, well done to Osita, well done to Fane, well done to Anu, well done to Temi Zach, well done to Dion, and well done to Temi Tayo. We all predicted 2-1 to Aston Villa. So I think that's one of the highest where people have actually predicted the correct score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 13 of us predicted 2-1 to Aston Villa. So well done to all of us. Arsenal versus Tottenham. Arsenal winning that one comfortably, beating their next door rivals, Tottenham, the North London derby. Yeah, Arsenal were comfortable winners, beating Tottenham 4-1. And no one predicted that scoreline. Everyone, well, almost everyone went for a win for Arsenal, but no one predicted Arsenal to win 4-1. So a good game by Arsenal, good win. Yeah, and a good win, which we'll talk about again after that. Manchester United versus Everton. You know what happened in that game? Everton got a man sent off and were still able to beat Manchester United with a man down. Wow. Man United, what went wrong? Tell me what went wrong in that game, because this is very, very shameful that your team at home would lose to Everton, who were a man down. You know, if we look at this really, really well, it's not a great thing to happen to your team if you're a Man United fan. And they were so confident before the game that they would definitely beat Everton and start moving up the table. You know, they're always calculating, well, if we win this one, we'll be fourth, we'll be third, we'll be this. But unfortunately, mate, your team had other ideas and you are where you are on the table. Okay, so let's look at game week 13. Game week 13. There's some interesting, games for this week. And we will start with Brentford versus Burnley. Brentford, I'm not sure they'll be happy with that loss. And they're actually a very good team when they're playing at home. So I see them causing a lot of problems for Burnley. Long throws, Igor, Thiago causing a lot of problems. So I'm going to go for Brentford to beat Burnley 3-1. 3-1 to Brentford. Manchester City versus Leeds. Well, I think Man City will be hurting really bad. So they lost to Newcastle, and then Pep decided to make a lot of 10 changes. He made 10 changes for his Champions League game at home against Bayer Leverkusen. And guess what? They lost 2-0 at home. So I know this game, I feel sorry for Leeds, man. They might unleash. This is one of the games, if you haven't had Haaland in your team, I would advise you to have him for this game, because he will probably go on some mad goal scoring record. He'll probably score 4 or 5 or a hat trick, something like that to boost everyone's FPL. So you heard it here. Thank me later. Yeah. So I'm going to go for a high scoring win for Manchester City. I was going to go for 5-0, but I think they might just have one sloppy moment and Leeds will get them. Leeds might even get the first goal and think, yes, we have arrived. And then whew, the whooping starts. So I'm going to go for Man City to beat Leeds 5-1. 5-1 in that game. Sunderland versus Bournemouth. Sunderland are a good outfit when they're playing at home. Arsenal can testify to that. So I'm going to go for Sunderland to actually cause Bournemouth a lot of problems. Bournemouth, they picked themselves up from the losing streak they were having, and they always get this every season where they have one little patch where they're just not playing well. Has it ended? We never know because they only drew the last game. They didn't actually win. And I see them probably not winning this one as well. I'm going to go for Sunderland to beat Bournemouth 2-1. Everton versus Newcastle. Newcastle buzzing from their win against City, but they lost their Champions League game away from home to Marseille. Aubameyang scoring both goals for Marseille. So I think they would come back here wanting to rectify this away record where once they're playing away, they're not very good. So because of that, I'm going to go for them not to lose this game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw. Tottenham versus Fulham. Tottenham, after losing the North London derby, they lost another big game against PSG. High scoring game, 8 goals in that game. They did well to get themselves 3 goals in the game, but when you're playing the Champions League champions, it's always going to be a tough game. And this is the second time they're playing them after PSG had won the Champions League. And both times, well, the other one was a draw, and this one is a loss. 5-3, high scoring game. So I think they'll take that into this game, wanting to make amends in the league. And I see them beating Fulham 3-1. Kolomani has got himself goals now, so he would fancy himself to get more goals in the league. So I see them beating Fulham, like I said, 3-1. Yep. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Well, Crystal Palace lost their Conference League game against Strasbourg. So I'm not sure how they would react to that, but I think they would react positively, wanting to come into the league and continue their good run of form. They're high up the table, so I think they would want to keep that place high up the table. So I think they would cause a lot of problems for Manchester United. Manchester United, on the other hand, they haven't played any midweek games, so they should have been training all week for this one. The other game against Everton, you could argue everyone's just come back from international break, so they're not really there with their preparations. But this one, they've had enough time now since Monday to prepare for this one. So I'm going to go for Man United to lose. You thought I was going to go for a win, didn't you? I got you there. Yeah, so Crystal Palace are going to beat Manchester United 3-2. 3-2. Aston Villa versus Wolves. Aston Villa, it's what they call this derby again? The Midlands derby. Yeah. And Aston Villa pretty much normally has the upper hand. They won their game in midweek again after beating Leeds last week. They won their game. So they would be buzzing coming into this one thinking, yes, we can carry on from where we stopped. So I see them actually winning comfortably because Wolves, in as much as they've changed manager, I still think it will be a very difficult one for Wolves, playing against the good Aston Villa side who has picked up form. So I'm going to say Aston Villa to win 4-1. Aston Villa to win 4-1. Nottingham Forest versus Brighton Hove Albion. Difficult to call this game, Difficult to call this game. Well, Forest, they rested quite a few players for their Europa League game and they won 3-0. So I would imagine that those players rested would come in and do the business for them in this game. But Brighton are always a difficult side to play. So I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw. I'm sitting on the fence with this one, guys. 3-3 draw. West Ham versus Liverpool. Where is Liverpool's next win going to come from? Where? Because I don't think it will be this game. I honestly don't think it will be this game. They lost again in the Champions League after losing to Nottingham Forest. They lost again to PSV at home, 4-1. So they are at a very, very low place now at the moment. So it'll be difficult for them to go to West Ham, who are looking for all the points they can get. So I'm going to go for West Ham to beat Liverpool. I hope I'm wrong because I want Liverpool to start winning games, so there's some kind of competition somewhere. But I see West Ham winning 2-0. West Ham winning this one 2-0. And the big one for the weekend. First versus second. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Chelsea fans, they're making a lot of mouth because of their win against Barcelona. Yeah? And they had to calm themselves down when Arsenal then won their own game against Bayern Munich. And they saw the way Arsenal did it. And they thought, this team is serious. So this game is a serious game. And even I, an Arsenal fan, it's difficult to call. But I'm going to back my team. And I'm going to say Arsenal win this one. Arsenal win this one 3-1. Arsenal win 3-1. Yep. So let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts on the predictions this week. What are your own predictions? What do you think will happen in the games in game week 13? Do you think Arsenal can go to Chelsea and win? Do you think Liverpool can stop the rot? Do you think Man City will be all guns blazing against Leeds? Do you think the Midlands derby, Wolves might show us something? You never know. That's why we love football. So thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. I'll see you guys, and bye for now.
Don't check this.